Molweni, umnandi Professor Noluxolo Gcaza. I serve as an associate professor here at Nelson Mandela University. So my role is three-legged. I teach, I research, and I engage. I am the coordinator of the Cyber Security Postgraduate Diploma, where I take two modules, Cyber Security Governance and Cyber Security Professional Skills. In terms of engagement, I have a foundation. It's called the Cyber Culture Foundation. It's a non-profit organization that focuses on trying to translate cybersecurity to what the community will understand. When we talk about cybersecurity, we always think that it's something out there. It applies to big organizations, but it doesn't apply to you as a person. So I try to take all of that and I translate it to you also have data that you need to protect. You also have technology that you need to protect. And so what are the ways that you need to go in order to do that? But we not only focus on how do you protect your data, but how do you also protect your own mental health, right? Because in terms of how we use technology, we are people. It affects how we feel about ourselves. Imagine when you post something on social media and you don't get the type of feedback that you were looking at. It does affect your mental health. So as the Cyber Culture Foundation, we try and look at how technology affects your well-being holistically. What I love about what I do is that it brings about so many disciplines, IT, law, how do you protect yourself online, and if something happens like cybercrime happens, how do you access justice? It brings together psychology. If you interact with technology in a way that affects your psychological well-being, then it's another space. It brings together educational pedagogy. How do we teach complex concepts in a simplified manner that anyone can understand? So I love that about what I do. Currently, we are busy piloting a Grade R project in terms of how do we teach young children to be responsible digital citizens. So we take the analogy of a playground, the real playground, and the virtues that we teach kids to be kind, to be courageous, to be honest. And we try and translate that to the digital playground in terms of how do we build their character to be those digital citizens that are responsible and safe online. In trying to educate children about cyber safety, we need to know how do we cultivate a culture of cybersecurity at a young age. We always say start them young. So the research behind it is trying to understand what are some of the effective ways for kids to learn. We know that in terms of the developmental framework, kids listen to teachers more than their parents, right? So that is why we are bringing this education into the school setting so that to enable them to learn. But we also look at how do you develop a program in such a way that it has a better chance of succeeding. The current research that we are doing now is to identify what is the criteria of a successful cyber safety educational program for that age. A lot of research has been done with regards to how do you teach cybersecurity in high school, but not so much is done in primary school, in particular the foundation phase. I work with a very diverse team of talented, amazing women, Professor Caroline Thompson and Nomfundo Kumalo. And how we came about putting this program together was actually over coffee. Caroline and I were talking about the impact that we would want to see. And I had recently relocated from Pretoria. And I said, when I applied for my daughter to go to school, I said I would contribute by cyber safety in the school. And when we were talking to one another about how will that look like, then the idea came. So it was a natural progression of our passions and the type of research that we do. So I met Nomfundo Khumalo in the Begin Your Journey here at Nelson Mandela University. She spoke about her passion for animation for kids. And when Caroline and I were then trying to put together a team for the project, she's the first person that came to mind. And when we shared the idea with her, we just gelled, and I think the rest is history. What we are doing together is so amazing because we are able to see how our research is now impacting not only the community today, but building a future of responsible digital citizens. My role as an associate professor at the Nelson Mandela University is so sentimental to me in ways that I cannot even begin to communicate. Maybe going back to how I fell in love with information security, like any girl, Black girl that comes from a disadvantaged background, you look for a career that will secure that will have job security for you. So IT was that for me. And then did IT. I came to the university with the mentality that I wanted my diploma so that I can get a job and be able to put food on the table. Little did I know that I would meet professors, lecturers who cared more about us as students unleashing the inner greatness. I didn't know that I would come out as a doctor. So I met Professor Rousseau von Soloms. He taught me information security in 4th year. Sure, I could write a book about our journey, but what he did for me was to make me believe in my own voice. When I was about to enter the world of work, Prof asked me, why don't you do your PhD? And because I still had that little girl in me who didn't fully realize her greatness, I said, I don't think I have what it takes. And he said something that I carry with me and hopefully instill to my students as well. He said, when I asked him, what will it take? He said, Ms. Kordian, it'll take you being you. And yeah, I did my PhD, and then I became Dr. Noluxolo Gcaza. I must tell you that when I became Professor Noluxolo Gcaza, I still hadn't gotten used to that. And it's something intentional for me to say, let me not forget where I come from. I carry a sense of responsibility and accountability to the people that I represent. I've come full circle. Now, being a professor in the very same field, teaching the very same module that Professor Rousseau von Soloms taught, I am in a position now to enable someone else, to enable other young girls or young women to believe in their voices, to trust their imaginations, and be the tangible representation of a dream realized.